The Inter-American System of Human Rights. To start talking about the Inter-American System of Human Rights, first we're going to talk about the history. Secondly, we're going to talk about the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, then about the Inter-American Court of Human Rights, and finally we are going to study what is the process of the individual petitions in the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. In the history of the Inter-American System of Human Rights, we have four important dates. The first one is April 30 of 1948. On this day was signed the Chart of the Organization of the American States in Bogota, and also it was signed the American Declaration of the Rights and Duties of Man. The second important date is the year 1959. In this year was created the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. And finally, in November 1969 was celebrated in San Jose of Costa Rica the Inter-American Specialized Conference on Human Rights. In this conference was signed the American Convention on Human Rights, and this convention creates the Inter-American Court of Human Rights. Having said that, it's important to mention that the states have adhered to the Inter-American human rights system in different ways. These different ways can be classified in three levels. The first level are the states that only signed the American Declaration of the Human Rights and Duties of Man. As an example, we have the United States. The second level are the states that signed the American Convention on Human Rights, but they don't give competence to the Inter-American Court of Human Rights. As an example, we have Venezuela. And in the third level are the states that signed the American Convention on Human Rights and give competence to the court. As an example, we have Colombia. Now, talking about the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, we can see that the Commission have two types of functions that are classified in political functions and jurisdictional functions. Into the political functions, it can be identified the following functions. The first one is the in loco visits. These ones are visits that the Commission do to study in specific situations. These visits are for the preparation of a report on the human rights situation observed, which is published and presented to the Permanent Council and to the General Assembly of the OAS. The second one is to make special reports or thematic reports about what is the general situation of human rights in the region or about a specific case or topic. In the other side, in the jurisdictional functions, it can be identified the following functions. The first one, to receive, analyze, and investigate individual petitions in which violations of human rights are alleged to have been committed either by members of the state of the OAS that has ratified the American Convention or by one that has not. The other function is to request to the Inter-American Court of Human Rights precautionary measures to stop the violation of human rights by member state of the OAS. So now I'm going to talk about the functions of the Inter-American Court of Human Rights. So the court have three main functions. The first one is the contagious, where the court determines if a state has incurred in an international responsibility for violating a right established in the American Conventions or in another relevant human rights treaties in the Inter-American system. Similarly, the court also supervises the compliance of sentences in this manner. The second function is the power to issue provisional measures. What are the provisional measures? Are measures that the court hands down in cases that are very serious, urgent, and when they may be necessary to avoid an irreparable harm to people. These three requisites must be satisfied prima facie before these measures can be awarded. Finally, we have the advisory function. This function allows the court to respond to questions posed by OAS member states or organs of the OAS regarding the compatibility of internal norms with the conventions or the interpretation of the convention or other treaties concerning the protection of human rights in the American states. Finally, in our last topic, we are going to talk about what is the procedure of the individual petitions in the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. So, the first step is to present the individual petitions into the Inter-American Commission of Human Rights. But first, we have to take into account what are the minimum contents of an individual petitions. So, the minimum contents are the following: the identification of the people or person who is doing the petition, the identification of the state, the facts of the complaint, also to mention the rights that were or are violated by the states, and finally mention the legal proceedings that were used or in the domestic jurisdiction. So, when the petition arrives to the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, the Commission studies two things to accept the petition. The first one is the competence of the Commission, where the Commission analyzes his competence according to the person that presents the petition and the state that is being complained, according to the subject, according to the time, and according to the place. The second one is the proceeding requirements that are the following: the exhaustion of domestic law procedures, that the deadline for filing the individual petition has not expired. This deadline is about 6 months after the last judicial decisions in the domestic law, and the non-duplication of procedures. Finishing the analysis of the admissible stage, the Commission starts to analyze the parties' allegations and the evidence submitted. In this stage, the Commission may ask the state and the petitioner for more information, evidence, or documents. If the Commission in this analysis decided that the state is responsible for the violation of human rights, the Commission will issue a report on the merits that will include recommendations to the state to stop the violation of human rights or to repair the victims. If the state does not comply with the recommendations the Commission do, so the Commission will decide to publish the case or to refer the case to the Inter-American Court of Human Rights if it considers it appropriate. We have to keep in mind that this initial report is not public and is only delivered to the state. And when it's given to the state have a deadline of 3 months to comply with the recommendations the Commission gives to the state. There is a problem because the states had said that these recommendations the Commission gave to the states are not binding. So this generates a problem because this makes that there is not efficiently control of human rights to the states. So that's everything for this video, and thank you for watching it.